What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we got the return of Ravaged realm. You can find it over here in the event tab, and you want to make sure you don't miss this one because we are fighting as Carrion Soul every single time. At the end of a season there is such a big boss fight, and this gives a ton of loot. It is starting off with the squad rotation phase, in which every single day we are fighting with different heroes against this boss, always restricted by a faction limit. This time around it is the Graveborn faction in the Immortal squad, and the supporting Celestial Hypergen heroes are Skalita, Tillene, Dunlinger, and we have Pandora on this one, which is pretty cool. And then you can see all the other ones coming up. It is quite interesting compared to the first ones we fought. The first Ravaged realm, I still remember that, of course, the selection of Celestial Hypergen heroes was very much so more limited than now. So, regarding the loot, there is some crazy stuff. Of course, we have the daily ranking where we get some nice stuff every single day, including your Bronco Essence to upgrade your charms, and then also the Grimstone that you can use in the store to get yourself some Stellar Crystals, and even Shadow Essence that you can use to enhance your Supreme Plus abilities on select heroes. Of course, Temporal Essence as well, which we always need. And then we come to the final ranking, and they put an absolute chase item in the top 20 again, where we have this absolutely gorgeous sword. Look at that, with the eye there, a golden shine and everything, an absolutely insane dragon sword. I think it even looks better than the one in Rosy Cosmetics, but it's sadly only for the top 20. So once again, the coolest cosmetic piece, sadly only for the top 20. Then we have the Dragon Flame Guard, a little bit of a face piece. It fits the set. I think it doesn't look good with this set. Sadly can't show you the full set. They didn't include this in the cosmetics yet, so sadly not possible. Yeah, a little bit small. Back piece, I guess. Cloak. And we have the dragon horns. Those look cool. Look a little bit weird with my set here as well, but it's pretty nice. And then the armor, and I think the armor is a great piece as well. I think the armor and the sword are really the chase pieces, so really big armor here. I definitely like that. So, insane loot that you don't want to miss. Keep in mind, this loot is for the Ultimate Siege, so it has nothing to do with the squad rotation we are discussing right now. The Ultimate Siege is a phase that will start later, and I'll make a separate tutorial about this. It's not something that is too important right now. This boss has a fairly interesting combination of damage and CC, and a very interesting arena layout, because if we check that out, you can see the arena is kind of split up. We have two positions very close to the boss where you can barely even see the heroes, then two far away positions, and this middle area where we have our heroes right here. And this makes for some interesting team uses. The first team that we want to take a look at is this one. We can check it out over here. In the formation, you can see it a little bit easier. This is Skalita, Dunlinger, Pandora, Tillene, and Ludovic. And first of all, the first thing that I really wanted to say, this is a super weird team for this fight, just because, well, it is supposed to be like the Immortal squad, which was always called like the Graveborn faction fight, and we basically have one Graveborn hero in this one. And still the main damage dealer on this one is Pandora, and of course Ludovic, combined with the Mythic Plus set that we have right here, granting him again skill power. We can watch the replay on this one before we get more into the teams. You can first of all immediately see the big stunts from the boss, and then the meteorites come down a bit later. It looks a little bit like the Tillene ult, if you see that. It does deal a ton of damage, so it is kind of important to have a good combination of like a little bit of heal and at the same time be able to dash out a ton of damage, which this team does fairly well despite running. And this is important, Dunlinger with Cure Lock. He will do a lot less damage if you have your Dunlinger on Spellbind, so make sure you set him a Cure Lock. If you don't have Dunlinger, of course, which many people I think don't, we will still have a team for you, so I will still provide you with the team. This team was posted on Yaphala, where you always find the best info for such fights. This is always the best source to go for and find info about this, just because, well, all the people come there to test, and of course this boss was available a little bit earlier on other versions of the game, where a lot of testing had already been done, so they had all the info ready from the start. For Ravaged realm, we always have to fight in two teams, so there is a second team for this as well. This one time around We have of course a #1 Graveborn hero, Chimera, on there. What else could it be? And then we have Daemon as a very strong unit with true damage as well, and Valka to support because she can also buff attack speed. This one we can also take a look at. Yeah, looks fairly similar. Chimera has fairly good heal on her own. That is something that is very unique to her. So you really want to make sure you have her for this fight. Of course, Pandora, if you skipped her before, might be kind of difficult to acquire during the time this is. You will have multiple times the Immortal squad comes around, so you can acquire some copies of heroes. Later on, I saw some people having very good results with low copies of, for example, Dunlinger or other heroes on their team. You can still get some good results with it, so I definitely would encourage you to kind of experiment with some of the teams, even if you have some of the heroes only at a lower level or just a single copy of them. You have enough attacks in here. You have 20 attacks every single day, 10 free attacks and 10 that you can buy, so there's definitely the option available for you to use them and try to get the most out of your attacks. Let us now take a look at some of the other teams that are possible. And maybe before we go there, just once again the damage numbers for this. We have of course Damien fairly highly upgraded, same for Chimera, so those are the big damage dealers here for this team. And yeah, overall absolutely insane damage. Got me the place 1, this is the team that I used for my highest damage, and we can see we have a fairly good distance even to place 2. Other team versions. And for this I want to show this wonderful graphic. It is from Yapala. I will link the source down below, so you can find that in the description, plus an invite to the Yapala Discord server that you should definitely use, because they are, as I said, always the best info that you can find. Then over here we have the 2 teams that are mainly suggested at the moment. The one that got me the highest damage is this one. They say, okay, Talene, Skalita and Dunlinger you can use at low ascension, and many people miss this little sign over here, where it shows that you are supposed to use Dunlinger at Cure Lock, because it's not included in the upper graphic. So make sure you have Dunlinger at Cure Lock, so and that is something that you want to use. And of course, if you have lower investment, swap the position of Skalita and Dunlinger, so your Ludovic is able to heal the entire team. And then the other version of the team, which is a little bit easier to use and more Gravebornish, from V and Min, we have over here a pretty pure team of Graveborn heroes. I saw some good results with it. The top results though are with the Frosty team at the moment. As always, there will be a lot of team development throughout the duration of Ravaged run. I try to keep you updated regularly, at least for once, with a video for the Immortal squad and a link to it, so that you can always find the info also on Yapala. They also provided the best charms over here. I have one thing to say about the charms. Of course, it is kind of something that you want to do is to optimize your damage on day 1 for Ravaged round, but keep in mind there are other fights to come. So if you are maybe already at your desired loot level, which I mean, okay, so I'm place 1, but if you were, let's say, place 5, there is not really a lot of motivation for you at the moment to go for any better rank. As soon as you are in your desired loot bracket, you are mostly fine. You don't need place 1 on this. It's fine if you're place 18, as long as you don't fall out of your loot level. That's all good. That won't make a difference. That is fine. And you really don't want to go ahead too early and try to enhance charms of heroes that don't necessarily provide too much for the fight. So having all charms super highly upgraded isn't really that desirable. You want to take a look first in your fights to one test fight with the team that you want to use, and then take a look at which are the heroes really provide the most damage. First of all, in this fight is Pandora, and then you of course have Ludovic, so you want to make sure those get the right charms. If there is another hero here that might need mythic charms to provide a damage boost, you want to identify that and check it out. And then you can always go by, okay, what are the biggest damage numbers that we can see, and that is those are the ones that you really want to enhance. And then maybe you want to keep some of the materials to upgrade it, some of the essence stored away, just so you are able to upgrade future charms as well, or to get future charms in case there's a really good team that you need to stay in your desired loot bracket. So saving up a little bit of it and not going all out can be very good, unless you get a major damage boost from it. And then the next tip that I really want to give you is you can always go ahead, and what you can do is you can refine the charms. And for example, we have the crit damage boost here. which is the charm that you should use. So what you can do is you can enhance it. Usually should have a bunch of those resources already ready, and for many of those charms they are very well approved, so you can be sure that they are pretty good. And I think this one is already, or did I misclick? I misclicked. Okay. And this will give you a nice damage boost. Usually we can give it a quick try here. We just enhance those charms. So let's go once again into the Ravaged round. We'll do a quick skip battle and see how much more damage we get with the same team that got me my top damage. So once again, top damage was this one. We had her on the second team. And let's do a quick skip here and see if we can get some better damage with it. It should be a small boost, but it can already help you. Okay, no improvement there, sadly. But how much damage did we do with her? 4,550. And what was it on the other fight? Did we low roll? Let's see. Can we do a bit more there? That's the YouTuber luck. That's when you're trying to show those teams and you're not able to because the luck was just too good on the other fight. Ah, come on. Stop trolling me. Okay, it's still not better, but it works usually. So, despite the game trolling me, I can promise you that this works, so it's definitely worth checking out if you can enhance some of those charms. Going back to the graphic, those are of course the top recommendations for the first team. You should get as close as possible to it if you have to replace the hero. I mean, it can work for some of them, but really you will have to live with major damage losses, I reckon. Then for the second team we have multiple options. Obviously, the teams with Chimera on the second team are only usable if you're using this team, because otherwise Chimera is already included here. So the team version that you want to go for the second team is this. You can go with Daemon and Valka, and then from left to right, those are the best heroes that you can use. So the best secondary team for this one would be using Bonnie, and then there's Viperion or Carolina, depending on which heroes you own. Best case, you would be using Bonnie for this one. Keep also look on the artifacts. This is definitely something that will help you deal the best damage. If you have the wrong artifact in there, that will definitely hurt you a bit. For this one, as I said, Pandora, Dumdinger, Ludovic Charms, very, very important, and you can use low versions of the heroes. Lastly, I want to point out that this time around we have the good opportunity that we don't have to take too much care of those faction talents, because they decided that they don't have like this 10 level upgrade at the end. You should still make sure that all of your faction talents are at level 39 as far as that is possible to you. There is the option to do talent swaps, so if you have one at level 39, maybe another one you don't, then you can swap that over. You should have a bunch of talent reshapers to do so. So that is one option that you can do, but usually you should aim towards having them all at level 39, and that will give you the optimal damage then. So I hope you can get some very nice results against this boss. I will try to make another video about the Immortal squad tomorrow, or about the Dauntless squad, I should say, tomorrow. This was just the team with which I reached number 1, so I wanted to show it to you guys. Other than that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.